My dad passed away last month. The funeral was quiet. No weeping, no long speeches. Mom stayed silent, my younger brother avoided eye contact, and I felt empty. Not the kind of emptiness that comes from loss. A different one. Like something between us was left unfinished. A week after the funeral, we started cleaning out the family house. Mom decided to sell it. Too many memories, she said. I went up to the attic for the first time in years. Everything was just as I remembered it from childhood. Old boxes, broken chairs, and dust hanging in the air like cobwebs of time. In the far corner, under a soot-stained blanket, I found it. An old wooden chest with a metal lock. There was no key, but the lock gave way easily to a pocket knife. Inside, neatly folded letters, a few yellowed photographs, a cassette tape, and an envelope with my name on it. Not to our son, not to the child, just to Max. From him. My heart clenched. I pulled out the first letter. The handwriting was shaky, aged. I began to read. Max, I have no right to ask for your forgiveness. But the truth must be told. I'm not the man you think I am. I'm just a shadow of the one who created you. Your real father. His name was Koval. And he was a genius. And a curse. I stopped. Koval. The name meant nothing to me. I looked at the photographs. One showed Mom, young, smiling. Next to her was a man, about 25, long-haired, holding a guitar. His arm was around her waist. Another photo, the same couple, now with a baby. That baby was me. I went to Mom, showed her the photo. She turned pale. Where did you get this? She whispered. In the attic. Have you been lying to me all my life? Mom was silent for a long time. Then she sat down and spoke. Terrace was different. He was talented, and I loved him. But he had a dark side. He disappeared before you were born. I didn't know if he was alive or not. And when your stepfather came into our lives, he accepted you as his own. I didn't want you growing up in the shadow of a father who vanished. Then why did you hide all this? Mom lowered her gaze. Because I was scared. That you'd go looking for him. That you'd become like him. I didn't sleep that night. I reread the letters, stared at the photos. And I played the cassette. The voice, deep, raspy, worn down by cigarettes and time. Max, if you're listening to this, it means there's nothing holding you back anymore. Then keep listening. Because you need to know, your life is just the tip of the iceberg. And I have one last message for you. The recording cut off. A chill ran down my spine. That was my father. My real father. And I knew. I had to find out everything. Who he was. Why he disappeared. And why Mom was so afraid that I'd become like him. The next morning, I sat down at my computer and typed. Koval, musician. There wasn't much information. But deep in one old forum, I found a scanned article from a 1990s newspaper. Mysterious disappearance of young musician Koval. His band, Silence Within, was preparing its debut studio album. According to friends, Terrace had recently become withdrawn and claimed that he was being watched. Police found no evidence of foul play. Case closed. A chill ran through me. It all sounded like a movie. But this was my father. I messaged a few band members who still had active Facebook profiles. One of them, an old drummer named Slocko, agreed to a call. I remember Terrace, he said. His voice trembled. He was fire. When he played, everyone stopped to listen. But he burned out fast. Do you know where he disappeared to? No one does. But before he vanished, he gave me something. Said, if my son ever comes, give this to him. I froze. We arranged to meet. 2 days later, I was in Lviv, in a small apartment that smelled of old vinyl and coffee. Slocko handed me a box. Inside, a cassette, a journal, and an old guitar. On the neck, engraved. To Max. One day, you'll understand. The journal was raw, personal. Terrace wrote about his fear, that someone was stealing his music, trying to silence him. He hinted at people from a production company pressuring him to give up his authorship. Music is me, but if I become convenient, I'm no longer me. I'd rather disappear than betray myself. I read those lines over and over. I could hear his voice in them. Then, the second cassette. Same raspy voice, but calmer now. Max, I don't know who you've become. But if you're hearing this, I never came back. Not because I didn't want to, but because the world wasn't ready for the truth. I didn't want you to grow up in fear, but I believe there's a piece of me in you. The part one never got to express. Don't stay silent. Don't become what others want you to be. Because the greatest betrayal is betraying yourself. I cried. like a child. Not for what I'd lost, but for what I never had. After that trip, I came home. Mom was waiting in the kitchen. I placed Tara's journal in front of her. "You were right," I said. "He was different. But I'm glad I know. Because now I know who I am." She silently picked up the guitar, ran her fingers along the strings. "You're like him when you're quiet," she whispered. "But you're not him. And that's your strength." Today, Tara's guitar stands in my studio. I didn't become a musician like him, but I learned to listen and to speak up. Because sometimes, a story isn't over until it's told. ChatGPT.